Hi, everyone. It's Mary Jo. I am back and hopefully better than ever and able to be heard. um, it is just 12:30 now. I'm going to give it a minute or two, see if anyone comes in and joins us. Um, as you get here, if you see me and you hear me, drop me a comment. That'd be awesome. Let me know where you're coming from, where you're watching from. If you're watching the replay of this, same thing. Let me know where you're watching from. I am outside of Chicago, and it is a snowy, cold day here in Chicago. Woke up to a couple inches of snow and feel like we were lucky to make it to back and forth to school to drop off our kids today. It was pretty crazy. Um, so I'm super happy you're here if you're watching. Um, South Carolina, awesome. It's probably a lot nicer than it is in Chicago right now. um, it is freezing. Like even right now, I'm inside. I can't feel my fingers. Like this goes back to why do I live somewhere that makes my face hurt? It's how I feel every day in the winter in Chicago. But good to see you too. Very happy you've joined. I do want to take a few minutes and explain why I'm doing this again. I went live on Friday to kind of explain the new program I'm launching, the Inspirational Leader Accelerator. And I'm going to tell you right now, it was amazing. I was amazing. I rocked it. Everything was awesome, except there was no sound. So, a small technology purchase of a streaming application later, so that I'm able to test things before I go live. And here we are, trying again. I did a really great mime of my attempt to tell you about my new program. So if you want the mime version, you can go to Friday's live and watch that back. But for now, what I think is better is if you could hear me and explain what's going on. So um, I do want to just kind of walk through the program, give you some background, what you may get out of it if you decide to join us in our community of the Accelerator. And I think it'd be great to hear a little bit from y'all and see what's going on. So, with that, I'm going to jump into a little bit of information about the program, the Inspirational Leader Accelerator. So, wanted to start off with a question. What if you led a team that hung on your every word, that shared your vision for the future and worked diligently and collaboratively to make it happen, no matter what challenges they encountered? With the Inspirational Leader Accelerator, you will have people throughout your organization wanting to work with you and for you, striving for that vision of the future and exceeding all of your goals. You'll inspire others to action, and you'll learn how to become the inspirational leader in your organization in just 12 weeks. That's really the vision I started off with in developing this program. As a woman, I am one. I don't know if you realized. As a woman, especially those of us who are in male dominated industries, we don't often see ourselves reflected in leadership. So, what I found is some challenges as you kind of rise up the ranks to a leadership position. So, tell me if it sounds like you. Drop me a comment if you're watching now. Drop me a comment if you're watching the replay of this later. You had a close circle of women earlier in your career, but there are less of you now as you advance up the ranks. And you don't have that same circle. You don't have that same set of people that you can lean on who understand what you're going through. Maybe you don't command the respect that you know you deserve in your organization, whether it be from your peers and other leaders in your organization or in the people above you who may not see you the way you know you should be seen. You have the skills, you have the expertise, you have the whole package, you have everything you need to excel, but you haven't gotten all of the opportunities that you know you should have. And maybe as a leader, your team is solid. You aren't all marching in the same direction right now, so you're not performing to the best of your ability. There may be conflict in your team, or maybe people are more looking out for themselves looking at the individual side of their performance rather than the team performance. So your team's doing all right. Maybe you're meeting some of your goals, maybe you're not, but you know that they have the potential to soar and you want to make that happen. I think we've all, as women, been in one of these situations in our careers, especially for those of us who are in leadership positions currently or have been striving for them. So what if there was a way to transform your leadership approach, build a cohesive and high-performing team, and focus on results, all while being supported and encouraged by women leaders just like you? This is what I envision happening in the Inspirational Leader Accelerator. Excuse me. I really want to help other women become visionary leaders that inspire and motivate their teams to success, and at the same time, empower other women throughout their network. It's not just your team that you can have an impact on. It really is everyone that you touch in your industry, in your just circle of friends, as you become that inspirational leader and share your vision for the future. So what would it be like if you could transform yourself into this inspirational leader in just 12 weeks with a close-knit community of women undertaking the same transformation? Love if you would share in your comments what this would mean to you. What could you accomplish if you were what I'm talking about? If you had this community of women helping you through these 12 weeks and you were transforming yourself into a different leader and a stronger leader for your team. Excuse me. So one of the things that I've experienced in my career is a constant push and pull and tension that makes it hard to see long term after a while. So for me, the example I would give you is in my career, as I went up and started managing teams, I would be really focused on my team, on mentoring them, coaching them, helping them, making sure they have what they need, really getting them what they needed to do their jobs and do it well. At the same time, I had my own work, right? I was pushed and pulled to make sure I was getting my work done at the same time. Rejuvenation, love it. Yes. At the same time, I was kind of getting pushed and pulled towards not forgetting about my work. And then again, as you add on top of that a leadership responsibility, you have this bigger picture that you are also responsible for, these long-term goals and metrics that in the day-to-day work of your own, the work of your team, and then this vision, you're trying to push and pull against all of it. At the same time, you're trying to have a life. You have friends, you have family, maybe you have kids, maybe you're married, and all of that pushes on you as well. And after a while, that push and pull creates this like constant tension in your life, this ongoing pain and suffering of just being under that duress, under that constant strain. And for me, the vision for my future got a little dimmer. It was harder to understand or see because I was so wrapped up in all those tensions, all of these day-to-day things, that I didn't always know exactly where I wanted to go, where I wanted to be, with very much clarity, at least. You know, I had a general idea, but it got really hard when you're so down in the weeds and getting put under the strain of tension all the time. So imagine if instead of this tension, instead of the push and pull, you knew exactly how to leverage your own strengths to be a stronger leader. Imagine if you painted a vision of the future for yourself, your team, and your whole organization that was crystal clear to you and everyone you talk to about it. Imagine if you had all of the tools and the knowledge to develop your team and make them stronger as well, and not only get them 100% bought into your vision, but to help them become passionate about executing it and making it a reality. And what if, imagine you could, on top of having these tools and strengths, you had an action plan that clearly laid out how you were going to get to your vision. Wouldn't you be unstoppable? And that's precisely what I will help you walk out of this program with. You will have these tools, you will have this plan when you finish the accelerator. So if you're watching, you probably know who I am. But just in case you are tuning in and checking this out because somebody else shared it or commented on it and you're seeing it some other way, let me just explain a little bit about who I am and why I'm offering this and why I'm talking to you today. So my name is Mary Jo Mullen. I am a speaker, a facilitator, and a coach, and a consultant. I help grow dynamic leaders and build strong and productive teams across business, government, and nonprofits. I'm the founder and CEO of Advanced Strategy Consulting, which I started in 2016, which I really based upon a lot of the experience and skills that I acquired while I worked in the federal government. So I worked for FEMA for 10 years, 5 years here in Chicago at a regional office, and 5 years in headquarters in DC or DC area. Really focused on program and policy and had a wicked, amazing amount of opportunity to work with great leaders and get a lot done and do things that you just don't get the opportunity to get your hands into in most other places. So it was a really amazing experience for me. Before that, I grew up as an engineer. I graduated from Notre Dame with a degree in civil engineering and spent my first 5 years of my career as a civil engineer in private engineering consulting. So I've worked on small projects from the $30,000 little tiny engineering project to a $200 million program in the federal government to a really complex and difficult environment managing contracts or $30 million during Hurricane Katrina in one of our response call centers. So I've gotten to be in a lot of different areas, and I'm kind of a weirdo that I went from engineer to project manager to program manager to business leader to vice president of an engineering firm to a business owner and now a coach. And hi, here I am right now. So it's been a really long, winding path, and it's been super interesting. But if I go back to the very beginning, I did have that close circle of friends of other women in engineering that we kind of gravitated towards each other in my department because we were very much outnumbered. And we were working for a company that was very competitive, and our CEO really kind of pushed that competitive environment. So I would say that those women that I started with were extremely important and influential to me, young in my career. What I saw as I grew up in engineering, though, is that one of us of my circle left the industry entirely because engineering wasn't for her. One went to a related industry, and the rest of us kind of scattered. So I didn't have that same close-knit community. When I went to FEMA, there were more women, but still very few in leadership at the regional office. So I had some women friends, but not the same experience, and really no woman there to look up to and be mentored by and really see myself becoming at the time that I really felt connected with. Fast forward another few years to moving to headquarters, and this was a totally different dynamic and different experience for me. There were still more men than women in leadership positions, but the men that I had as leaders were very good about ensuring they mentored everybody, and that regardless if you are a man or woman, you really got inspired by the things that they did, by the way that they treated you. And I was really fortunate to have just excellent leaders across the board. Beyond that, I also had the opportunity to work with a lot of women in leadership positions inside the agency, as well as those who were consultants and contractors to us, who I spoke on LinkedIn a few days ago about one of these women, Allison, who's been incredibly influential on myself, my career, my personal life. Adore her. Um, but those leaders, those women, allowed me to become who I was, got me back on track, really focused on what I wanted, and that's ultimately how I came to start my own business. I had an excellent boss when I left the agency and went to work back in private consulting in engineering, who eventually took over our company, bought it, and runs one of the largest women-owned engineering firms in the country. And as I've gotten later in my career, I've seen how important it is to have those women around me. I've seen how important it is to be mentored, and I've seen how important it is to be in that relationship where you can envision the future for yourself more clearly. So I'm really excited to be able to launch the Inspirational Leader Accelerator because I want to help create this environment where all women in leadership positions or striving for leadership positions have that same ability to lean on other women leaders, to have that close-knit community, and to be able to hone their leadership skills in ways that it's really hard to do standing alone without someone helping guide you. So this is what I want for this journey for all of you. Let me walk you through a little bit about what this really means. I keep telling you what the name of it is. I'm telling you what you're going to get out of it. But if you're like me, you want to I want to know the details. So here are the details for the engineers like me who really want to get into the weeds. The Inspirational Leader Accelerator is a 12-week intensive program, and I'm looking for 10 women to fill the small, close-knit community. The first session will be kicking off in March. The 12 weeks of the program are divided into 3 4-week segments. So the first segment will be devoted to you, to really focusing on you, understanding your strengths, understanding your leadership style, and strengthening it so that you are able to grow into your leadership style, grow that vision, develop your emotional intelligence more, and learn to tailor your communications to reach a variety of people so you can get everybody bought into your message. The second segment, the second 4 weeks, is about developing your team and learning the foundations of a cohesive team that creates results and being able to coach your own team into becoming that cohesive, collaborative group. And then the third segment is focused totally on results. This is where you apply all the things that you've learned and discussed and worked on. You'll create your action plan for the future and begin to execute on that plan while you still have the support of the Accelerator community. At the onset, what we'll do is we'll have a one-on-one kickoff call, and we'll work through a assessment that will help you identify your style, your strengths, and all the tools within you that you have to leverage. After that, we meet once a week for the 12 weeks for 90 minutes for a group coaching call. And that will be focused on some learning. It'll be focused on facilitated discussion, as well as activities and some homework for you to do between sessions. One of those sessions each month will be focused on a problem-solving session. So that will be using the collective knowledge and skills of the community of the Accelerator through a facilitated discussion, identifying one really key question, one really key problem that everyone wants to solve together, and in a facilitated manner, coming up with a set of solutions that is completely devised by the group. So if I work with 10 women in this session and then work with 10 women a year from now, y'all are going to get different things out of it. It's going to be really leaning on your experiences. It's one of the things I love most about these problem-solving sessions. In addition to the 90-minute group coaching call each week, what I'll also do is have a follow-on 30-minute call, just ask MJ anything. So if there's any questions you have coming out of the learning for the week, coming out of the facilitated discussion, or as you try to execute on some of the work in between sessions, I'll be there able to answer any questions you have. Sorry, this is me talking a lot, and then I have to stop and remember to breathe, and then I can continue. So each week, in addition to the calls and the time we have together, I'll be providing you worksheets and templates and anything else you need to be able to do this well. In addition, we'll be using some really simple technology now. If you can get on Zoom, you're good to go. Any other technology we use throughout the program, there's a facilitation app that I use that is free. There's no worries about doing that, and it's something I will walk everyone through and be very simple to pick up. So no additional fees, no extreme technology investment, no super savvy skills are needed to participate. So I'm hoping this is sounding interesting. All my process geeks out there that I finally got to the details are appreciating that. So if you have any thoughts about what I've talked about so far, any questions so far, please go ahead and throw them in the comments. I'll make sure I hit them before I wrap up here. And if you're watching the replay, I'll be watching the comments on this and respond to them as they come in. So One of the questions I'm sure you are wondering is, how much is this going to cost me? Um, the value of the learning, the community, the discussions, the tools and templates that I'll be providing is about $5,000 for all of that, including the style assessment and some of that work up front before we even get into the group coaching. For this first group, the first accelerator, I'm offering it at more than half off. It'll be $2,400 for the full 12-week program. This price is only for the first group, which means only the first 10 women who want to participate will have the opportunity to participate at this low price. For the next session, that would probably be starting around June, the price is going up to $5,000. So if you want in now, you want in at $2,400, hit me up. I'm going to throw in the chat a link to how to contact me to be able to start the process, which would be setting up a time to talk to me, going over what your goals are, understanding what you want to get out of something like this to make sure that you're a good fit for this. I don't want to sell you on something that you're not going to get the rewards and the action out of it that you have pictured. So if I don't feel like you're going to get everything you want out of this, we won't do it. We'll talk about either something else, or I can find you someone in my own network that maybe fits better with what you want to get. So if you want to schedule time with me, you can go to the Calendly link that I put out there. That hopefully will be a wonderful start of a relationship. So what happens after that? Sorry, I am looking at lots of different places. Let me make sure that LinkedIn gets the link also. Hi, I'm back. Okay, so who is this for? You're probably seeing yourself in parts of what I've talked about. I hope that you see as a woman yourself reflected in parts of what I'm saying, at least, as you've grown up in your career, as you have experienced different industries or organizations and different companies you work for, or if you maybe are more on the government nonprofit side, as you changed between agencies or departments or things like that. You've seen a lot of different things, and some of this probably resonates with you. Excuse me. So who I envision this being for, and if you think someone else can benefit from this, besides what I say, besides who I mention here, throw it in the chat. Let me know who you think can benefit. But to me, this community is for you if you're a woman in her first or one of her first leadership roles, really still looking for her voice as a leader and to prove to your team and your bosses that not only are you rocking it now, but you are meant for way more. This community is for you if you're a woman executive in a fairly male-dominated industry, that you have very few women that you can connect with, and not a lot of opportunity for mentorship, not a lot of opportunity for growth unless you take that under your and my doorbell just rang. Yay, live. If you have the chance to have the mentorship of other women and be able to get through whatever you need to grow. And this community is for you if you're a woman who owns and is growing her own business. You have big ideas and you need to get your whole company and your whole team singing from the same sheet of music to make that happen. And right now, maybe you're herding cats and you want to really transform into that visionary leader instead. So, like I mentioned, straightforward if you want to move forward and start talking more in depth about what this program can do for you. Schedule a call with me at that link I dropped in the chat, and that is on your screen right now. If this meets your goals as well, and you enroll in the program, you'll get an email confirmation, access to our online community, and the email, because again, process nerd, the email will outline every step of the process, what you need to do when, and you'll get a tickler email saying, time to take your assessment, here it is, time to schedule this next thing, here it is, and I'll walk you through the whole process seamlessly. So to wrap up, just want to ask you to imagine where you could be 12 weeks from now. with a transformed leadership style, total clarity in your vision, and the ability to motivate your team to excellence and drive the results that you want. There's 10 spots open right now at this initial low price of $2,400. Once the program's filled, price will go up for the next session. So schedule a call today. Leave me a comment if you're interested in participating, and you can be part of the first Accelerator community. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching. So nice to see you, Lisa. And hopefully I'll be talking to you soon. Thank you. Have a great day.